ଆଗରେ ପଳେଇଲେ ହଉ ଠିକ ଅଛି ମୁଁ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କରୁଛି।
Okay, it's recorded, but the
ଓକେ
chat messages are also recorded.
ଆରମ୍ଭ କରନ୍ତୁ।
ହଁ ହଁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିଦେଉଛି।
ଭାଇ
So good evening everybody. This will the final class of this MPA-17, that is e-governance. We have already discussed details of concepts, approaches and various models of e-governance, its advantages as well as the challenges faced by e-governance in various capacities at the local level, grassroots level, and at the state level and at the central level. So now e-governance has emerged as the most accepted model of governance throughout the country in different capacities and in different areas, in different domains. So that is most challenging because we have a digital divide in the country. Then we have limited access in different parts of governance structures, different part of the population structures or population. So this is very important to understand how these challenges can be overcome. This is one important aspect. So we'll complete the chapters that are left in this paper. One is we have already discussed the application of ICT in um, railway system. It is one of the most advanced models of ICT in governance. So railway has the reserved passenger system, tracking system of ticket status, then e-auction, then the freight system. So railways in India as a public sector has experienced a major change in its governance paradigm because it has shown the success of e-governance and the advantages of e-governance, and it has correctly and rightly capable of ruling out corruption, delays, dislocations, etc. Then we have another model known as Sukaryam, that is ICT project in Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation in Andhra Pradesh. So Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation in Andhra Pradesh has huge ID. I just gave one example, that is railways, that is of the central government, and a huge structure. As you know, railways is one of the largest public sectors in the world, not only in India, in the world, in terms of its uh, capacity, length, reach, etc. So now let us come to a governance level that is limited in its outreach, that is a municipal corporation. Because we'll see the example how the municipal corporation of Visakhapatnam has used ICT as a model of e-governance in its day-to-day administration. So earlier it was very interesting to know how a municipal corporation can use ICT or can accept a model of e-governance and can it be successful. So as it has shown here, the e-governance can also be very beneficial, very smart and very modern in the governance of a municipal corporation. So as you know, Visakhapatnam is a well-known city in India, the coastal city. Then what can be the advantage of ICT or e-governance here? First is access to public documents. The documents of the municipal corporations regarding orders, programs, annual budget, gazette notifications, ordinances, bills, etc. So everything that can be available to public were put into a website, and everyone has access. Any public, not only of residents or citizens of municipal corporation in Visakhapatnam, but all over India, all over the world, everywhere. The documents are made public through e-governance, through their website. You can access, you can know what is the charge of a service, how much you have to pay. So there is no possibility of any middleman misleading you. Then what are the orders? What are the rules? So there is no possibility of any middleman willfully giving a wrong information to you. Then how statements can be authenticated, this is also shown in the website. You can search the property status, the land status, what is their sale, etc. in the website. There are a copy of land records, registration of land records, birth and death certificates, and other statements that are available through e-governance in the website of the municipal corporation. Then there is the provision of online payments. That means you have to pay tax, you have to pay rent, or you have to pay any charge to the municipal corporation as a user, telephone bills, electricity bills, water bills, or house rent bills, etc. Whatever. Then you can make it online. You don't need to go to the Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation's office. You don't need to go there. Then there is a grievance box, e-grievance box or e-complaint. What is e-complaint? Earlier, there was a grievance box in a physical form in every office. You put a complaint there, nobody reads it. Nobody knows when you complain. If you go to office and makes a complaint that I have given a complaint, written complaint in the box 15 days or 1 month back, there is no answer. What is the evidence that you have given there? So now in the e-complaint system, you send a email, or the e-corner you put a grievance, that this is your grievance, like Jan Sunani in Odisha or anywhere, or e-abhijog at the CM's office. So likewise, you give a online complaint that was registered, time was registered, date was registered, your name was registered. So if there is no action within the limited period, that is the concept of citizens charter, how many days it will take to address your grievance, then the authority concerned will be accountable. So that is called e-complaint. This is one of the innovative projects in Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation, and later followed by many government offices. Then partnership with the government. What is this? We have had the public-private partnership, but as it is an independent body, municipal corporation, it will also partner with government on various contracts, on various services, on various purchases, or whatever is required that is made online. So that becomes transparent, that becomes accountable, that is Swachha Shasan. So everybody will know what is what, and what is in partnership with a private corporation or with a government. Then they have municipal corporation to government communication. That means through this e-governance model, they will contact, communicate, we will be in touch with various departments of the government, and that is also available in the public domain, which is not highly confidential. So this model, Sokaryam, this means facility, uh, like in Odia, Subidha or Sujog. That means everything is facilitated and everything is the facility available within the city or within the domain of the municipal corporation, which is around 120 square kilometers in Visakhapatnam. So Visakhapatnam is a big municipal corporation. They adopted this outsmart e-governance model. So they made all the services available online, complaints online, service delivery online, contracts online, rules regulations online, partnership online. So this changed the entire governance structure or paradigm in the municipal corporations. Then what are the requirements if you go for this kind of model anywhere in urban governance? What are the requirements for the success of a project like Sokaryam? First requirement is, as you know from earlier discussions, connectivity and networking. Unless it is networked with e-connectivity, then this is not possible. So what they have to build the entire huge database. They must have sufficient computers for storage of this database. Database means the information regarding the municipal corporation. How many citizens are there? How many wards are there? How many schools are there? How many hospitals are there? how many roads are there. So entire database must be stored in the computers, that is in the form of hardware and software. So they need required computers. That is the first step for success of this type of project. Then they need to be networked through connectivity. They need strong data connectivity, that is net facility in that area. That is the first prior condition, precondition you can say, for the success of this type of model. Then we need a multi-stakeholder approach. That means it is multitasking, multi-stakeholders are there. Stakeholders are not only citizens. So many stakeholders are there. So the approach must be multi-stakeholder. We must start the work on the premise there are many kinds of stakeholders for this project. So they need to take the services of private enterprises or private corporations or private players in the project. Otherwise, it is not possible on the part of the government or municipal administration to make it a success. Then it's got to be citizen-centric. That means the entire object of this e-governance should be the benefit of the citizens. So, in the larger term, the requirements of citizens must be mapped, must be identified in different sectors like health sector, education sector, other service sectors. Suppose there are citizens, they must have data about the senior citizens. They must have data about women. They must have data about their children living in that area. They need parks. They need health centers. They need gymnasiums. They need children's park for their playgrounds, etc. So the entire object of e-governance is not only smooth and transparent governance, but that kind of governance, smooth and transparent or accountable governance for the benefit of citizens. So the object, the very objective of this kind of governance must be citizen friendly or should help fulfill the requirements of citizens. Then it should be web enabled. There must be web, www. For the data, for the display of data, so that for the accessibility of data by the common citizens, they must be dynamically linked. Then the system must be designed. But who will design the system? Naturally, a company will be hired, a service provider will be hired. The design of the citizen must be insiders must be there. That means people or service providers will not design their website or data or software. They must be helped by the insider. That means the employees, senior employees of the municipal corporation, they must be involved in the system designing. Then PPT mode. It cannot be done by the municipal corporation itself. There is a debate regarding PPT mode. Some complain or accuse that PPT mode is a kind of privatization, but it's not like that exactly, though it leads to privatization. Because of the constraints of the government department or municipal corporations or panchayats, they don't have resources, manpower, expertise, technology to go forward. So they need the help of private corporations. So there must be a memorandum of understanding, joint ventureship, contract, legal contract between private firms and government corporations like municipal corporation, which is otherwise known as PPT, public-private partners. But here the interest of the municipal corporation must be kept in mind. Private corporations should not be allowed to take the maximum profit or benefits out of these projects. That is a major concern for which the PPT mode has been criticized. Then what is this ICT project in Visakhapatnam municipal corporations? There are city civic centers, one-stop civic shops. They are aware of the fact that not everybody in the country like ours have an access to the internet. This means these city civic centers provides people with the e-services which is not available to all citizens. That means all citizens don't have computers. All citizens don't have access to net connectivity. All citizens are not aware of the use of this technology to access municipal corporation services online. That's why there are city civic centers like village knowledge centers today in Odisha. So there you can go and get the services. That is called, they are connected through global internet protocol. They can track the status of their application in the corporation website. So they need a registration, they will get a unique ID, and through that ID they can track. Any citizen, suppose, has applied for a registration, birth or death or house or permission for construction of house, for water connectivity, for electricity connectivity. So they can go to the city civic centers, they can apply online, and later on with their unique ID, they can track the status of that. They can also get a give a complaint that my service is being delayed or being denied or whatever, right? Then online payment. All the municipal dues are paid online in Visakhapatnam. So you can go to civic centers, you take the help of the employees there, and you can pay online whatever dues you have to pay. Also, the physical mode is available everywhere. You can go physically, but you need not go. Suppose senior citizens, women, they need not go to municipal corporation's office. They can go to the civic centers and can have payment and get a what this is called receipt, e-receipt. Suppose now in Odisha you can register in your electric office and pay online and get the e-receipt. So this was done in a long way back in Andhra Pradesh Municipal Corporation, that is Visakhapatnam. So you have a building plan, or you have a complaint status, you have registration of birth and death, you have birth and death certificate issuance or issue, then online citizens forum, then you have infrastructure work or whatever, you can give online payment. Then you can put your complaints and grievances online. That is another facility. You can go to the city civic center, that is called civic center, and available for rigorous monitoring there. You can go and you can complain on your own if you have a computer and net connectivity. You can go to the website of municipal corporation. You can search there, and then you can lodge complaint and grievances online. But if you are unable to do this, don't know the use of computer, you don't have net connectivity, you don't have a computer, then you can go there. There are in all wards there are civic centers, different places, sufficient on your nearest to your home. Then you have online tracking system. Suppose you applied for a approval of the plan of the building you want to construct. And then you can apply for registration. You submit your building plans, and then you submit your land records, area. Then that will be processed at the municipal corporation's office. You paid the required fee, then you will get the certificate. If there is unnecessary delay, you can have your check or monitoring. You can call it a tracking. Then online registration of birth and death, you can get that. Instant issue of birth death certificates, online tracking of civic services, then infrastructure works, online citizen forum. All these are the major services available for um, citizens in Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation. Just a minute, I am getting back. Yes. Then, what are the major challenges in the way of implementation of this project in Visakhapatnam? As you know, when there is a big change in the any paradigm, there is resistance. As I have already given you the examples of e-concepts in railways, in banking in India, and other sectors. So obviously, what happened? There are changes and there are resistances. So when there was introduction of e-governance structure in Visakhapatnam, obviously there are challenges, resistance from the people. There are doubts by the people whether this can be made possible in a city like Visakhapatnam. Say always you'll say you'll find a section of people who wants to maintain the status quo. They are resistant to change. They are opposed to change. So this project in Visakhapatnam also made the same fate from the bureaucracy, from the common people, and from the vested interests. But that was overcome by the administration, by the willpower of the government. Then there was openness and transparency in any project. This was opposed by a section of employees who are corrupt and who do not want change. This was another change. The challenge. Then third challenge was the limited funds available to the corporation. As you know, if governments, when railway introduced change on the model of e-governance, they have huge fund for going this project. When a state government or a central government carries a project, they have funds. But when a municipal corporation or a village panchayat or district panchayat, they go for this kind of change, they face a problem of funding. So this was also there in case of Visakhapatnam municipal corporations. That's why they went for PPT mode or public-private partnership mode with the investment from private sectors. Though that will be ultimately transferred to the citizens, the service cost, but sometimes it seems there is no alternative to that. Then when the case of citizens come, they always raise that how can you use computer, how can you come to the civic centers, we don't know what to do, what not to do for using ICT. So there is a big kind of you can say resilience or resistance by the common people, but later on it was overcome. Then politically it must be acceptable and there must be willpower. So this is all about the model in Visakhapatnam. That is a very successful model. Surekam are giving facility to the people, to the citizens, to the common man in Andhra Pradesh, in the Visakhapatnam municipal area. So this is all about this chapter. Next is chapter 13. We have e-Seva, that is IC project in self-help in Andhra Pradesh. This is another model, successful model. We have already covered the theoretical aspect. This is just example I am giving you. How many models are there? How they are successful? What are the challenges? So that we can have a grip or idea about the concept, the theory, and its practices. So e-Seva began in the district of West Godavari in Andhra Pradesh. You know they have two major districts, that is East Godavari and West Godavari. They introduced, Andhra government introduced this e-Seva in West Godavari. The project was to bridge the gap, the digital gap, which we know as digital divide through ICT, and that is known as C2C, this citizen to citizen and citizen to government in rural areas. So under this project, there were rural centers or kiosks, as the village knowledge centers in Odisha later on. It was first introduced in Andhra Pradesh West Godavari district. There will be village kiosks. In villages, there will be centers, small centers with the facilities, e-facilities available to the citizens. And interestingly, these e-kiosks or e-shops or e-centers, you can say, are managed by self-help groups, women self-help groups, not men. They are run, they are managed, they are controlled by self-help groups. So rural women became the leaders in this ICT service. That is called digital divide. Earlier we were discussing digital divide. What is digital divide? Now, many people know how to use ICT, and many people do not know how to use ICT. That is e-knowledge. Second, many people have computers, many people do not have computers, particularly in rural areas. Many people have net connectivity, many people do not have connectivity. So the number of do not haves is larger than the do haves. This is called digital divide. So to overcome that, this innovative project, creative project, was introduced in West Godavari district by the then government. And the most important aspect of this model is that they are managed by women. So women, they are the major part of this digital divide, victims of digital divide. Anywhere in rural India you will go, you will find women are lagging behind. Though in today's world, young girls who are educated, they are first ahead in ICT, but rural women who are housewives or confined to home or agricultural laborers or lower middle class peasantry families, they don't have access to ICT. So they are made managers of this process, digital process, to overcome the digital divide. This is the most important aspect of this model. Then the project made them as agents of change. Made them means whom? Women, rural women. Then the rural kiosks centers are run on a distant portal, that is www.westgodavari.org. These are the portal made available in the website, where you have access to various citizen-centric services of government, and there are computers at the kiosks or the knowledge centers. Then they have a hybrid of dial-up 802.11 and WILL, capital L. That's the website. So they have direct services from this portal. And to save the networking cost, that is computer to computer networking, there was a unique synchronization tool that allows the kiosk to work offline. Even they can work offline also. There will be a minimum cost or no cost. Then they have a horizontal portal on the www, and there is a vertical integration. The project uses the opportunities of the ICT. So citizens, women are empowered, e-enabled services are there. This is a beautiful project. And it was introduced in June 2002. This is managed by self-help groups, that is in West Godavari. Then in November 2002, there are civic centers in rural points in different parts of the West Godavari district. In January 2003, this was provided as C2C, citizen to citizen, and C2G, citizen to government. Government will communicate with the citizens will communicate with the government, and citizens will communicate to the citizen themselves. This is the model of service available in rural areas, in these rural centers. That was in 46 rural kiosks in the entire district during that period, that is in 2003. Then there was the evolution of the project, and there is a record transaction by that time, almost 3 lakh. 3 lakh transactions were made in 2003. This is astonishing. Then this model was also helped for elementary government schools, how they will come, and multimedia CDs were used for the children's education. Then in November 2003, there are more 120 centers added to the project. That means more 120 kiosks were evolved or created to enable citizens to have this service. Then there was education available on this website, and e-enabled education, where 28,000 students became 60,000, made 6 lakh transactions online. The number of students taking this kind of e-enabled education increased to 70,000, from 28,000 to 70,000. So centers get a bigger look and created their own buildings. Earlier it was managed in small holdings. Now it became big buildings with their own. Every primary school has its own building now. So like these kiosk or knowledge centers had their own building. And you will be astonished to know in 2004, just within 1 year and 1.5 year, the number of transactions crossed 1.5 million. And you will see electric bills are paid by the citizens through this online mode. And there are 350 million rupees collected for electricity bills in 2004. And then private health centers were connected to this network for telemedicine. Suppose a poor patient sought the advice of doctors through this model, and the expert doctor advised through telemedicine that you have this disease, you can take this medicine, you need not go to there for common diseases. And over each day, 50 patients got the services in 2004. And then transaction crossed 2 million, from 1.5 million to 2 million in 2005. You just assess the West Godavari district is not so highly developed. It is mainly rural area district. And the 2 million transactions were made in 2005, January, in the beginning of the 2005. And it got National Award, Golden Icon Award from Government of India for professional practices or services. Then a strategy titled Closing School for intensively training graduate unemployed youth in computers, English communication, and managerial skill for corporate placement launched. This is another new innovative project where young people in that district, they will be trained in using computers, in managing computers, and getting English knowledge and communication system, how to write, how to read, and how to talk to officially, professionally, how to talk. These managerial skills were given through online. So these local youth got the benefit so that they can be employable in the employment market. Then other services like online complaints, grievances to the district administration regarding their problems like drinking water, road, etc., etc. Then online application registrants, issue of certificates, issue of land records, then issue online auction and bidding, online mandi, that is markets, whether it is for paddy or other items. Then they have right to information in e-seva kendra. You can get information regarding development projects in the district, government projects in the district, and other services available. Then even matrimonial services, that is online marriage bureau, was also made operational in this project. That is interesting. In a district administration project, e-project, you find a marriage bureau. Then you have this telemedicine, tele-agriculture. Farmers can get advice from experts through this website, through the expert opinion. Then you can download various forms and given to citizens to apply. Then they have a citizen forum. Then you have e-education. You have CDs. You have e-content, which can be seen, used by students. Mm. And during that period, 70,000 primary school students are using that, taking class online in e-seva kendras. And then there is a common account of self-help groups. So this is another successful model we found in Andhra Pradesh after Visakhapatnam, that is in West Godavari, how ICT entirely changed the face of district administration, district development, district education, district health, district agriculture. How can it be so successful if you use it rightly? This is another success story. Then in the chapter 14, you find regarding information. You know RTI, I need not elaborate on that. RTI. RTI is a revolutionary step in the history of India, also in the world, regarding accessibility, regarding information, regarding democracy, all are interrelated. That came in 2005. That means every information that a citizen can have will get through this Right to Information Act, any information, unless it is in the interest of sovereignty of the nation or defense purposes. So you have a history of RTI movement in India. The idea of RTI, it is already in the articles of the Constitution, Fundamental Rights, Article 19 and Article 21 of the Constitution. But access was limited, so far government decisions are concerned. So, 93 Consumer Education Research Council proposed a draft RTA as a law, and 96 Press Council of India, under the leadership of Justice Sawant, prescribed a draft model. Then draft model was later updated and deemed as PCI NRD Freedom of Information Bill 1917, but could not see the light of the day. Then there was MKSS, this NGO fighting for the rights of the people to know the development project, cost of projects, who is doing this, how is doing this. There is a movement. So in 1997, efforts are made to legislate for rights of information at the center as well as at the states. So there was a working group under the chairman of SD Sori, the then Sori committee, known as Sori committee, and given to mandate to prepare the draft law on the Information Act. And this Sori committee report was submitted in 1997. Then there was a criticism of this draft law that it was limited. Then the Right to Information Act by Tamil Nadu government came in 97, in Goa 1998. Then other 7 states came up with their laws regarding information. That is Rajasthan in 2000, Karnataka 2000, Delhi 2001, Maharashtra 2002, Assam 2002, MP, that is Madhya Pradesh 2003, and also Jammu and Kashmir 2003. So there was a countrywide campaign by the states, by the NGOs, by the people, that there must be right to information. And Kerala and Odisha now prepared also their draft bills to come up with this. Then in 1990, Ram Jethmalin, then Union Minister of Urban Development, gave an order enabling citizens to receive, inspect and receive photocopies of files in his ministry. This is a precursor to the Central Act. So they said you can come and get photocopies of the files in my ministry, that is urban development. But this cannot, this did not realize, was not realized. Though there was order, this was not realized. Then we have Freedom of Information Bill 2000. Then it was sent to Standing Committee on Home Affairs. Then they consulted with the different civil society groups in July 2001, and there are a few recommendations to overcome the limitations of the draft bill pointed by civil society groups. Then we have Freedom of Information Act 2002, passed in 2003. But this was not notified. That means did not came into existence. Then 2004, there is a public interest litigation by the famous advocate Prashant Bhushan on behalf of the NCPRI and Center for Public Interest Litigation, tried to compel the government. That means judicial intervention was sought to make this law. Supreme Court heard the case on July 2004. Then the Supreme Court set a deadline that by 15 September 2004, you must come notify the act or decide when the act will be notified. Then Department of Personnel and Training, Minister of Personnel Public Grievances released the draft rules known as Freedom of Information Act 2002. Then in May 2004, UPA government came to power under the leadership of Manmohan Singh. There was a national campaign to Right to Information Act, and this laid the foundation. Then there was a common minimum program by different parties of the UPA, and that made the promise in the common minimum program that RTI will be passed in the parliament. Then Right to Information Bill, known as RTI, was tabled on 23rd December 2004 in Lok Sabha. That is most important. And it was referred by parliament in the department related to Standing Committee. Then Law, Justice, Department of Public Grievances and Personnel considered that. Then they invited different activists from the society, gave their suggestions. Then there was amendments to the rule, and finally we find this on 15 June 2005 as a law and assented by then President Abdul Kalam and known as Right to Information Act 2005. So this became a bill. Then the act came into force on 12th October 2005. So this is the final day. This is the short history of RTI, one of the great steps in the history of Indian democracy, known as RTI 2005 or Right to Information Act 2005. So what is the basis of the act? You can inspect works, documents, records, take note, extract certified copies of documents and records, take certified samples of materials, obtain information in form of printouts or discs or floppies or tapes or video cassettes or any other electronic form. Then you have important information. What is this information? Artery, what is the meaning of information or definition of information? Information means records, documents, memos, email, opinion, advice, press release, circular, order, logbooks, contracts, reports, papers, samples, etc. Then you have public authority, that is government authority. That means authority appointed by the constitution or by the parliament or by the state legislatures, anybody or any non-government organizations owned, controlled and financed by the government. Then record means includes document, manuscript, file or microfilm or micro facsimile copy of a document or reproduction of image, etc. Then there are various authorities under RTI, that is Central Public Information Officer, State Public Information Officer, Central Information Commission, then State Public Information Commission, then you have Appellate Authority, then you have Reporting Authority, you have PIOs, Public Information Officers. So this is known as Suchana Commissions at the central level, at the state level. Then who are the competent authorities? Who is the third party? And what is the procedure? You have to, all of you know, you have to apply by a postal or draft of 10 rupees. Then if you have, you are a BPL category, your charges of the documents will be free, that will be provided by the establishment. Okay. So overall, if you will see, there are also arrangement of fines. If a PIO does not give you the information within the stipulated time or without any justification, then he will be fined by the commission. But there are certain informations which cannot be disclosed under RTI. If that information affects the sovereignty and integrity of the nation or security of the nation, that is strategic, very important of the state, then that cannot be disclosed. Then if that information may lead to incitement of an offense, then that cannot be disclosed. If any information forbidden by any court of law, then that cannot be disclosed. Then breach of privilege of parliament or state legislature. So there are different categories of information affecting the state sovereignty, security or public order, or by the order of the court or privilege of the parliament or state legislature, Vidhan Sabha or Vidhan Parishad. Those information will not be shared, will not be made available. Okay. Then there is a concept public authority. What is public authority? Is defined by authority, any authority or body or institution of self-government established or constituted by, under the constitution, by any other law made by the parliament or state legislatures, or includes anybody or a NGO, non-government organization, owned, controlled, substantially financed directly or indirectly by funds provided by the appropriate government. Okay. This is public authority. Then you have this public information officer. So any public authority will appoint a PIO, that is compulsory, in all its administrative units or offices, whose primary responsibility is to provide information asked under this RTI Act. Right. So what are the duties? Any person seeking information where they cannot be paid in writing or to reasonable assistance to the person to reduce the same in writing. If he is unable to write, then he will help. Then he will share the information as per the format, as per the law. Then timing is 30 days. If they have some complaints or urgency or any problem, they can share the information to the applicant or to the appellate authority. Then there are two important commissions under this act, that is Central Commission and State Commission. Okay. So they have powers, their duties, their removals, and their functions, etc. So we need not go into the details of that. What is the role of the government? The government will make the citizens of the RTI. They will encourage people to use RTI, then promote timely dissemination of accurate information to the public. Then now they have a concept of this what is called uh, proactive sharing of information. That means there are some informations which you can share in the website on your board, and any citizen can access that. Then you not apply under RTA. So this is important. That is called proactive sharing. Then how it can be reported? They have procedures, important state initiatives. So these are the constitutional mandates or laws or parts of RTI. But there are bigger challenges of RTI now. How there are attempts to dilute RTI, one aspect, another the misuse of RTI. So there are so many cases how individuals or organizations are using RTI to settle personal scores. So that aspect has emerged in many parts of the country, in many institutions, etc. So how this can be addressed, that is a challenge. Then I think we have the last chapter, that is implementation and governance issues and challenges. How ICT can be implemented, what are the issues and what are the challenges, and what is the suggestions we can make. First important is the work plan. That when you must have a plan to implement ICT in your office, in your organization, whether a big organization or a small organization. So what are the challenges in any organization? We have the first challenge is connectivity. Then human resource, that is they must be technically professional. Then funding. Then planning. Unless you have this, you cannot go for e-office or e-connectivity or e-model of governance. Then you need to develop content, e-content development. That is e-content in local languages. Unless you are not coming out of English, then this is very limited, because those people who know English, they can use. Large majority who don't know English, they cannot use. So we need to develop in local languages. That is e-learning and e-content. Then that can be used. Today there is a huge change in that. You can now type in your local language in mobile. Google has provided that. So now we can type in Odia in our mobiles. So that is a huge change. So if the e-content in the government websites in Odia, then we can use that. Then competency building. A second challenge is how you have a trained human resource who know the details of e-governance, practices of e-governance or use of e-governance. Okay. Then there is a cyber law, cyber fraud, cyber crime. So you put all these in a legal framework. That is cyber law. And you put some trained people who know what are the cyber laws, how they can be violated, what is the punishment, etc., etc. We have gone ahead much ahead, but still there are challenges. Then citizen interface. How there will be a communication with the citizens. Then we have this capital. E-government business plans must identify revenue study funding. And we must have a vision for re-engineering. Then if you go to Bhatnagar and other experts, they uses the term computer-aided administrative registration department, card. That is in Andhra Pradesh. So they have this is a model. So re-engineering is required to make it successful. And the system needs to be very citizen-friendly, and we must have a strategy for that. And the most important is illiteracy. That means more and more number of people must be trained to use these e-resources, to have access to use these e-resources on their own. They need not depend on the personnel in e-kiosks. So that is called illiteracy. E-ସାକ୍ଷର ସମସ୍ତେ ହେବା ଦରକାର, ଯାହାଫଳରେ ସେମାନେ ସକ୍ଷମ ହେଇପାରିବେ ଏଗୁଡ଼ିକ ବ୍ୟବହାର କରିବା ପାଇଁ. This is the biggest challenge in India today, particularly in rural areas. Then to implement it, we need a leadership who have a political will to go for ICT or e-governance. ରାଜନୈତିକ ଇଚ୍ଛା ଶକ୍ତି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଉପାଦାନ, without which this cannot be implemented neither in decentralized governance in urban centers or rural panchayat bodies, or in districts or panchayats, nor at the central level or state level. So we have seen in these last 2 decades, there is a huge growth of e-governance in different sectors in the country, and definitely there is a political will. Otherwise, it would not have been possible or could not have been possible. So next is transparency and accountability. There are loopholes. E-governance provides transparency, accountability. In the normal modes of governance, this is not possible. But still, there are loopholes in terms of transparency and accountability in also e-governance models or e-governance structures that has to be addressed, and we have to develop our mechanism how there cannot be any reproduction of corruption. We can reduce corruption, make it transparent, make it accountable, make it sucha. The administration has to be corruption free, and e-governance can give a model by which this can be done. Then, as you know, if you go more for e-governance, there will be more resistance from inside and outside. From inside means from bureaucracy, from the employees. They are resistant to change. Now they have a lot of change in through different e-governance models. Everybody is accepted, and also those who are opposing in the at the earlier period, now they are appreciating that this is good. Second, there is outside. That means outside the bureaucratic structures, it is by the people who do not accept a change. This is obvious and normal. But with the experiences in last 2-3 decades of e-governance in India in different states, we have found that people have also accepted this model as more beneficial to them. Then you need huge financial resources, net connectivity, computers, etc., etc. But when there is a political will, this will not put a brake on the wheel or juggernaut of e-governance. Then we have to support the computerization process back end, and you have this PPT model, public-private partnership model. But better if there is more investment by the government, that is better. But in the absence of public funding, the model that is being worked out is PPT. Then you must have information policy. Then you must have legal recognition, legal support, or legal basis of these projects. Then you have new projects, and then you have to address the issue of digital divide. This is the challenge we have seen in previous chapters. Then most important is how to evaluate the project, how to monitor the project, how to develop a new project which should not have the loopholes of the previous project. That is through evaluation. So you must evaluate or monitor how many transactions are being made electronically, how many responses are made in proper time, how long is the trouble-free operation. There is no bottlenecks or bottlenecks in the operations or services. There is no problems or checks. Then percentage of public services rendered through electronically. How new services are coming under e-governance. How many new areas are covered territorially. What is the percentage of beneficiaries accessing information. So these can be made through what? Monitoring. And through evaluation, we can access from the previous model to the present model, how we have gone ahead. Suppose in the long run of e-governance in railway now have the monitoring model or evaluation model. To what extent they have overcome the challenges, and to what extent they have been successful in building new projects and bringing new areas under e-governance. Likewise, district administrations or state administrations or central government departments or panchayat raj system, they must evaluate and monitor to what extent they have been successful in overcoming the challenges, overcoming the digital divide, overcoming the capital requirement, all these, and how much they have brought new people, new area, new sectors, new domains under the e-governance structures, and how they have been successful in delivering services without any bottleneck, without any break, without any check. That is most important. So then we can develop a successful model on the basis of previous experiences, previous loopholes, previous failures. Actually, they are helpful. So finally, we need to concentrate on these crucial factors that are challenges in governance. They may be planning, they may be funding, they may be digital divide, they may be infrastructure, they may be skilled human resource or manpower, they may be connectivity, etc., etc., etc. So, when you go for a future roadmap, these limitations, challenges must be mapped and identified, and there must be a clear roadmap plan for future course of action. Then we can go for a more successful e-governance model. Though we have successful e-governance models in this area, okay, that is area of e-governance. So this is all about your paper MPA-17. This is finished. So I think Bhavana, you are only one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, na ଆମର ସରିଗଲା ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଚାପ୍ଟରଟା ପୁରା ବହିଟା ସରିଗଲା ଲାଷ୍ଟ ଚାପ୍ଟର 15 ଥିଲା ଚ୍ୟାଲେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ଇମ୍ପ୍ଲିମେଣ୍ଟେସନ ସି ବି ସରିଗଲା ସୋ ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ ଅନ୍ୟମାନେ ସବୁ ପଳେଇଲେଣି ନାଇଁ
Okay, sir.
ଓକେ
Thank
ଓକେ
you.
ଓକେ ଓକେ ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ